Namaste. So welcome to our discussion. Right. So this topic is in relation with the last tutorial or lecture I've given about the bandhas and how this sub-physical manifestations happen, how we develop them, and the progressive approaches so we could get in and out of the experience without causing permanent damage to our body and the nervous system as well. But for today, let me give more emphasis on the chakras. Right? So it's inevitable that all these energetic concepts would have to be tackled, because they're all related. But the chakras are far deeper. Yeah, they are far deeper. But I will not be talking about the technicality of the chakras because honestly, I'm not very versed with the theory. Yeah, sometimes even the names I have to really rethink. Yeah, because I'm not really versed with the principles, the theory, what's written in the books. But I could fully relate with them when it comes to experience because I feel them. So I will be sharing with you the descriptive side of it, all right, the actual manifestations as I experienced them. All right. And of course, I am always in the safety side of the practice. I always invoke the safety. There's so many beautiful things said, written about chakras and how they could promote wellness and being, clarity of the mind for meditation, for inner peace and joy. But there's little out there which discusses the dangers and the pitfalls that this topic might cause, not just to ourselves but to our students as well. Because yes, I tell you, it's not all beautiful and it's not for everyone, and the dangers are really very serious. It could cause, or they could cause, permanent damage to the inner organs and to the nervous system. I will be discussing them as I talked about this topic. All right, now, chakras are points inside the body, inside the spine, where the Kundalini energy pierces through as it makes its way up to the nervous system. All right, so that alone will tell you, will give you an idea how serious or how heavy and how big this topic is. Because awakening the Kundalini is already huge and serious. What more, this task of opening and making the chakra sensitive. So this is far deeper. Right? Because unless the Kundalini is awakened, you won't be feeling the chakras. Yeah? So inherently, these points, we have 7 actually inside the body. I won't be talking about them. So it starts from the base of the spine and ends down inside the head, at the tops of the spine. Yeah. These points are blocked. Right? We could live a full life without actually experiencing them. Since they are blocked, we don't need them actually, honestly. We don't need them. We don't need them to open. We don't need them to manifest. All right. Like Kundalini energy, like the bandhas, we actually don't need them for general purpose, for general health and wellness. No, honestly, no. They are really very beautiful, but generally, no. We could live a full life without them. But if you are practicing yoga, and as we venture deeper into our practice, it's inevitable that the body would open up. All right. So the first stage is actually opening the body. Yeah. So this is when the process should be taken seriously, because at first, of course, asanas only. Oh yes, it makes me strong. My body becomes supple. My body becomes strong. I could access my core lightly without me feeling tension. I could feel the breath flowing. At first, it's like that. So it serves the general purpose of making the body strong, flexible, and supple, and move back. But because it gives too much pleasure to the body and the senses, we keep venturing, we keep exploring. And as we go deeper into the practice, the next stage is actually after cracking through the physical, because this is the biggest obstacle, all right? And inevitably, as we venture deeper to asanas which are complex in nature, I'm talking about hip openers, back bends, arm balancing, those complex ones. But we inevitably open spots in our body, especially down the hips and the spine, that we never thought were there in the first place. So in the beginning stages, we all thought it's muscles, we all thought it's physical exercise. And then suddenly, and then over time, you're going to feel now the body will open up inside. And this is a stage where the bandhas or the energy locks become more active. They will just inherently manifest, organically manifest, once the inner body becomes more open and sensitive to movement. Especially when the hips become more open, when the spine becomes more open, they will inevitably open as well. So after the physical, so I'm running through the process in a general perspective. So later on, after this discussion, we would have an idea how serious the topic is at hand. So after the physical, which will take many years, now the bandhas or the energy locks will start to manifest. And we have three primary locks: the mula, Uddiyana bandha, and Jalandhara bandha. Actually, we have more locks as we go deeper into the practice, and you will experience that. And then the energy locks now, all right? So we'll now pave the way for inner body support. Now the practice becomes less muscular, the practice becomes less physical. You still be doing all these complex asanas, but somehow there's something inside the body now that will inherently support you. All right. Now, the stage actually is more pleasurable, because the first stage is pleasurable already. Now you've experienced, oh, there's something inside me that makes all of these elements lighter and easier to perform, and it makes me happy. Yeah, it makes the person happy. It boosts, yeah, the ego, yeah, and the senses. So we keep exploring, because these are really good, and there's nothing wrong about that. There's really nothing wrong about that. Now, all the fruits of our labor should be celebrated. And then as we go deeper, because yes, the pleasure is never ending. Yeah, the bandhas definitely will make you stronger. The bandhas definitely will let you achieve asanas, which before you were just, I don't think I can do that. But with the bandhas, they're all possible to happen. And you keep exploring. And in this stage, where the bandhas are very active, and harnessing and developing the bandhas would actually require years of practice. And after harnessing the full potential of the bandhas in the asanas, you will feel something inside is still blocking. There's something there that I need to access, because you will come at the stage where some elements you feel that you're already there, almost there, but somehow something inside is getting in the way. All right, especially asanas, especially deep ones like deep back bends and deep opens. Yeah. And then this is when you're gonna explore the possibility of actually exploring the breath. Your body will tell it, yeah. Because the breath, as the bandhas become more open, the breath will inherently flow. When I say the breath, I mean the energy, something that makes the body light inside. All right. So it's not the inhale and exhale. Of course, the breath or the inhalation and the exhalation would have to be done. But as you do the mechanical process, something is happening inside. Like you can access the bandhas when you inhale. Oh, I could access that point when I inhale. And I'm going to try this. If I try to collect my throat and I feel something else happen inside, and then so on and so forth. So you're going to be developing the skill of actually you will develop your own way of accessing them based on the requirement of the position, the requirement of the asana. And this is when the concept of inner cleansing will come into the picture. Because the asanas, the movement, even the bandhas inside, are not enough to go through and achieve that inner spaces that you feel they're there, but you can't access them. Only the breath will be able to do that function. And this is when you start to explore the possibility of using the breath to access those spaces. And I'm talking about inner Nadis, right? The inner pathways of our energy. And then only through breath regulation could we clear and rid of those inner pathways of energy of the blockages. Right? Because the physical will just only make the body light, supple. The bandhas will further that lightness and support inside. Right? But the bandhas will play an important role. They will always be there all throughout the process until the latter stages of the practice. But they're not enough. Only the breath will be able to clear those inner pathways. And we have many thousands. You can just read about them. But of the many thousands nadis, we're gonna just boil down to three main ones. The left channel, which is the Ida, and the right channel, the Pingala. All right. And the central canal, which is the Sushumna. All right. But the central canal or the central channel will only manifest way towards the latter stages of the practice. All right. Although these three main ones are very related, we need to actually sort out first left and right, left and right. And this will take many years still before we could feel the central canal. So now, do you get the picture? Yeah, how serious the process is. That it's not just about what's written in the books, that the chakras have specific colors, that the chakras, that certain frequencies connect with the chakras, visualization, so on and so forth. I will be talking about them later. The process is actually actual. It's really actual. Yeah. You can't just jump straight to the chakra without going through the initial stages, because that's where the danger lies actually. All right, going back. Now the breath regulation now, of course, on top of the previous elements, asanas, and you performing and utilizing the bandhas to make your body light, supported, you will now be allotting more time cleansing the inner pathways, because that's the only way that you can really access the deep spots you feel inside there but trapping or clogged. So now you will spend more time regulating the breath, kumpakas, breath retention. And this is a serious topic, because not everyone would be able to do those deep breath regulation. Because when you do your breath regulation, you actually alter the natural flow of the breath. And then when you alter the breath, yeah, definitely you will be creating pressure inside the body. And that may compromise the health of your respiratory organs, cardiovascular organs, especially the heart. All right? And worse, you might cause permanent damage, not only in those vital organs, but also could cause damage inside the brain or the nervous system. So this stage now, well, if you're going to ask me, or as teachers, as practitioners, we could only guide our students safely only until the bandhas. After the bandhas, after you will see it, you will feel it as a practitioner. After the bandhas develop, that is the time that we might start to back off a bit. If you're a teacher, all right, allow the student to just explore on his own. If you are a practitioner, you might want to consult a teacher if it's worth it progressing deeper. Because the moment you start to do the breath regulation, there's no going back. Alright, so there's really a thin line between should I stop or should I carry on? Alright, because this stage, physical, bandhas, and the breath, they are really very pleasurable. They will really boost your senses. Really pleasurable, actually. It will serve that health and wellness aspect of your body, your mind, your spirit. Then there's nothing wrong with that. But going beyond should really be taken seriously. Right? Because the moment you're able to crack through the blockages of the left and the right channel and the inner nadis inside, the energy will just flow and there's no stopping. The Kundalini, that's what I mean. Alright. Now, when you finally decide, alright, this is for me, yeah, whatever purpose you hold in your heart, this is for me, I want to carry on. I wanted to progress. I wanted to explore. Yeah, speaking firsthand, I really didn't know that I was actually jumping over the boundary. Because I just kept exploring. So I'm talking from personal experience, and I'm sharing with you not just the beautiful aspect, but also some of the things that might not be for everyone. All right? I'm very lucky that I have the time, I have the effort, I have the physical strength to sustain and manage all the rigors, because the next stages will be really very, very difficult. And they're very difficult, but you cannot back off anymore. It's like you've opened something inside you that should not be open in the first place, and there you are. Yeah. So what do you do now? You can't close it because you've already passed that stage. There's no backing off. All right, going back. Now, the inner cleansing that you will be doing, the breath regulation, the kumbhakas, right, will pave the way now for you to feel the sensitivity of the left and the right channel of the body. Yeah. Because you're clearing your inner body of those really deep psychic, emotional, trauma blockages inside, that when they finally clear out, the energy will flow through those points. And this is when the Kundalini will start to manifest. First, you're going to feel the hips become really more sensitive. Yeah, you will develop this spontaneous or random involuntary actions here, that there's always a need to adjust. And if you don't do them, if you don't do the work of opening them through asanas and the breathing works, the body will always be feeling heavy and painful. And since you have to do them, it becomes like necessity, it becomes like a chore, it becomes responsibility. But the byproduct is really good, I tell you, it's really good, because you're going to feel lighter, you're going to feel stronger, you're going to feel more energized. Right? But it will require more time, it will require more effort, it will require intense practice of those elements. Right, moving forward, right, you've successfully managed to open the left and right channel. The bandhas are working strongly inside the body. And then you can feel now spaces inside you that you can actually utilize to allow the breath to flow through those really deep spots. And then once you've accessed those spaces, the body becomes even lighter. So this is really very pleasurable to the ego. Now, what's going to happen next is that as the Kundalini energy becomes more dominant, and as the bandhas, the energy locks, become more efficient, as the inner pathways become more open through breathing works, you will develop this skill now of refining that energy, refining that Kundalini energy. That you will start to feel the manifestation of the central canal. Because the Kundalini energy has its inherent way of rising. First, left and right channel is widespread. Yeah, you can feel it crisscross. You can allow the energy to pass through the rough spots of your collarbones, the backs of the shoulders, the backs of the head. But as you gain more efficiency managing this energy, you will use the locks now, the energy locks. And at this stage, you will develop more locks than the 3 primary locks. You will now be able to harness like you are. Literally, you're collecting the energy from here through the breath, through the bandhas. And then you will allow that energy to go really thin. All right, really thin, literally thin, like thin as the needle. And there's really a head, like the head of the needle. Here's through the very base of the spine. And that is actually your first chakra. It's the Muladhara chakra. Right. And on top of this, because I feel it, yeah, I feel it open. Suddenly I feel it like I feel it become sensitive, but it's never it actually. Right. Now, even for example, you've cracked through the initial stages of actually making the Muladhara sensitive. The body is just so profound inside, the manifestations and the realm is just so deep and never ending. Here you go again, you will feel blockages again. Yeah? If you thought before that, oh, this is it. No, it's never it. And then when you feel it, I could feel the Muladhara chakra now open. But still I can't access its hole, its mouth. Yeah? Because something is blocking again. This is when again you're gonna try and explore to open the body more. This is when you will start to externally rotate the legs, Kandasana, really extreme rotation of the thighs, deep back bends, deep hip openers. And then you're gonna find yourself actually going really complex already, that when will this all end? This could be scary because the body will go weak. Yeah? The body can just handle much. But do you think you can sustain this for like many years? I could access spots in my body deeper by doing this and by doing that, rotating Kandasana, doing more complex asanas. Yeah? Now, you're going to realize, and then they will make their presence even more felt. They actually will open. All right. I won't be talking about all the 7, but when the first 2 chakras open, the Muladhara and the Swadhisthana chakra, they will produce, there are manifestations. The most obvious will be sounds, actually the sensations, of course. You will feel like gushing sensation, you will feel like rumbling sensation, sounds. When the first 2 bottom chakras become more sensitive and open, you will hear inside the body, you will produce inside the body rumbling sound, gushing sound, like bubbles, air pockets, popping inside, plop, 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 something like that. Those sounds are produced through a collective work of your bandhas and your energy, because you are processing the energy, you're allowing the energy to flow through that point, and inevitably with your adjusting of the hips, they will cause the sound, because the energy is finding its way and then hitting through those blockages, actually using the bandhas. Yeah, literally, you are allowing the energy to pierce through the blockages of the inner body. Yeah, because the blockages will always be there. It's just like you will develop the skill of piercing through them through the use of the energy box. Right. So they will produce sound. I will be talking about sounds later on. When this part of your chakra open, or this part of your chest open, yeah, the Manipura, it will produce like sound of a humming wind inside, yeah, because this one is really hollow and deep. And with your Uddiyana Bandha, very active there, you can make this even hollow. You can do many things inside the core. Yeah, you can access really deep muscles there that you never thought were there. You can access the muscles wrapped around the spine. Really, many things you can do. And then when this part of your spine opens, the Anahata Nada, for me this is my favorite spot, because when this one opens and when you allow the energy, the Kundalini energy to rest here, it makes you feel secure, makes you feel happy, calm. Yeah, not really competitive, but victorious. And there's a sound, like sound of very still water, and it's humming, like blowing there inside. It's very humming. It's very deep. It's very deep. It's very deep, and this is really a good spot to keep that energy confined. Yeah. And the spots, not dangerous involved. Now, when the energy, when the upper chakras are open, for example, the throat, this and that, and all the way up, they will produce sound which are akin or similar to crickets, like insects, and they just linger inside, especially the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. And sometimes here, even if you're not doing yoga, you can hear them, and at first they will become louder and louder and louder until actually they become noisy and annoying sometimes, and it could disrupt your focus. But eventually they will go when you develop the skill of managing them. Right. So in a nutshell, that's how the bandhas or the chakras manifest. At first, sounds, definitely. Yeah. Now, speaking about sounds, all right, there are many frequencies which are commonly used to relate to the chakras. There are so many available information about them, but in actual experience, in reality, the sounds they produce are very different. The sound they will produce when you practice and approach this from the bandhas and the body itself is different. They're really actual sounds coming from the inside of the body. Meaning them, the frequencies will not actually open them, but the frequencies now used to relax, to calm and meditate are actually frequencies that connect inside the brain. And they produce brain waves that promote relaxation, meditation, or deep sleep. All right, but they don't open the chakras. They don't make your chakra sensitive. They don't pave the way for piercing the energy through the chakras, the frequency. No. Yes, I have to be very, very specific with that, because I don't want you to be caught up in the idea that when you listen to certain frequencies, the chakras open. No, they will not. Because the chakras open really actual experience, really actual. It's really very present. You can feel them open in the body. Like this. You can feel it, like you are rubbing your hands up against your skin, something like that. Really feel it's a sensation. It's not about the sound opening them. But those frequencies, the sounds, connect to the brain, which promote relaxation, meditation. Right. So it's different. It's different when you approach it from the Hatha Yoga method. Now, now when the chakras become sensitive and become more open, of course, you can allow the energy to pierce through those lines. Now, the dangerous part is this. For example, you get so tired because the chakras will open in order. You just get so tired and then suddenly you just decide, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, I've opened my first 3, for example. No, you can't stop the process. Why? Because when the energy is left lingering here, the base of the spine, it is very problematic because that energy will make its way up. Because in the first place, they are sleeping dormant, the points in the energy, they're sleeping dormant, and then you just suddenly awake them at whim for any reason you hold in your heart, and then suddenly you decide to stop. No. You have to sustain it. Because if you keep the energy confined here, without you opening and then lifting the energy up, it will leave your body in pain. It will even cause like this intense feeling of restlessness. Like there's something trapped there, but I can't release it, and it might cause emotional discomfort as well, emotional imbalance. Because your body is heavy, your body is tight. So it will affect your emotional health as well. Right. And then the challenging part is, even if you wanted to carry on, the task becomes more difficult. And then until when the body can sustain the challenge and the pressure, we never know. For me, if you want to stop the process, right, I would recommend that the best place for the energy to remain is right here. Okay. First 3 chakras could mean danger, because it really becomes heavy there. But when the heart chakra opens, and then you just allow the energy to flow from the hips and up to your heart, it's really healthy. It's something that will serve the purpose of peace, quiet, calm, because really you're going to feel that sensation inside. Alright. So it's the healthiest path is here, the healthiest point is here. Now, when you decide to pierce the energy up, it's also dangerous, could be dangerous. Alright. So from the 3rd down, there are dangers involved. Here, safe. From here up, there are dangers involved as well. So let me talk about this. When you decide to allow or to further explore, and this will entail deeper cleansing work, deeper kriyas, deeper asanas, and it will require many times, but it will require long hours, many years of practice. When the upper chakras become open throughout this and all the way in the pineal gland, we are actually sending potent electricity inside our head. Yes, and we're talking about electricity here. Yeah. And inevitably you will experience episodes of like pressure, because you're sending electricity there. So not only inside here, you might experience like heaviness here, because you've lifted that electricity up. which necessitate you to do more cleansing work, to free this part of your body of not it actually doesn't feel just physical, but yeah, it's really energetic, that it goes deep inside the psyche, that it affects the way you think, it affects the way you feel. And this could mean danger, because it could cause depression, it could cause sadness, and it could even cause damage to the neurons, which may result to psychosis. Now, am I making myself clear now of the gravity and the huge task involved, with regards to the chakras? Because really they will cause more than physical implications later on. All right. Now, so that there's something there that needs to be done for you to drain the energy out. Because you're lifting the energy inside the brain. And this is when organically you will explore the possibility of the euphoric process of Kundalini awakening, which is actually the trance. Because for you to drain that energy out of the head, literally, that energy will have to get out of the system. And then only when you complete the process of letting that energy drain out of the head through the trance, through what we call samadhi, that you will feel the body renews, the body empties. And this is no joke, this is no easy task, because draining the energy through the samadhi, through the trance, will require intense work. This is when the body would have to just remain still for hours, utilizing the bandhas only to pierce through the chakras, and intense breath regulation. Literally, you have to stop the breath, and then only the bandhas inside support you. Because when you breathe, you will lose the confinement, and there the energy drops back down, and you have to repeat it over again until you're able to lift that energy up. And then there, it will just do its work of draining through the trance, through the samadhi. But do we really need that? No. We don't need them. We don't need those episodes of trance and euphoric experiences. Which brings me back to the topic of, until when do we actually stop exploring? As practitioners, as teachers, what is that line where dangers might happen if you're not guided accordingly? Right. Personally, once you feel the bandhas start to manifest, that's it. Because the bandhas will serve you in the physical aspect. It will not cause as much energy overload. It will make your body strong, it will make your inner organs function well, it could allow and assist your breathing. But it's not as deep as the chakras, it's not as deep as the inner nadis. So because when you decide to hurdle and then go past that line, there's no stopping. And the chances of actually us regretting is really high in the future. So hopefully I give you an idea of how serious the topic of the chakras is, and how serious should we consider this path, this process, if we are thinking about it. And hopefully it gives you an idea that before we appreciate the external tools that are associated with this, it's really beautiful, but could be dangerous. We don't get caught up with this idea of, for example, oh, I've done a course about chakra, I've done a 3-day course, and now I could teach how to open the chakra, I could teach how to benefit from the chakra, I could so on and so forth. No, it's never about that. So it's really a lifelong commitment. And definitely, speaking firsthand, I've experienced them, I won't teach it. Really, honestly, I won't teach it. I won't force my student to open theirs. Because this exploration should be done by the person himself. As teachers, I could only guide my student until the bandhas manifest, because it's the safest path, it's the safest stage, and then up to that person to explore. And I would be happy to guide a person go through the process safely. But for me to teach it, no, I won't do it. Yeah, I won't put my students in a dangerous situation, because only them know their nature. In the same manner, we should not be over passionate about achieving such high state of awakening, because in the first place, it's not necessary. It's the most beautiful thing that happened to me, but I don't recommend everyone to take the path. What we do now as teachers is to just translate our teachings to something more real life, something more realistic. Something that our students could appreciate and utilize in their everyday lives, on and off the mat. Right? That, for example, one of the many beautiful effects of allowing this part of our spine to open is that it will make you feel lighter. When this part of your spine opens, it just feels light for the rest of the body. It allows, because this holds the respiratory organs, hold the heart. When you open this through gentle openings, backbends, movements that connect to this part of the spine, somehow you allow the radiance of the chakra to manifest, but not actually teaching your student how to open the chakra, because it's very different. Yes, that's actually the whole process. From the start all the way to the finish. From harnessing it, to producing it, to managing it inside, and actually draining it. The most important part is draining the energy, not just through the trance, but also through service, teaching, and sharing as well. Beautiful. So hope this lesson or this lecture shed light to some principles there that might be lingering, might be knocking, but really take this one seriously if you wanted to take the time. Right, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Enjoy the rest of the practice. Namaste.